Let's talk about a serious topic, staying consistent and being motivated. They are lying to you if they say learning a language is just going all in. All you need to do is be consistent and you're going to succeed, because that creates a false expectation that if you put your mind to it, you will succeed. I cannot tell you how much I have struggled in my language learning journey of over 12 plus languages throughout my life to varying levels to stay consistent. For those of you who have watched my channel for a while, you will know that I went through a rough patch, major depressive disorder, my mom died, I lost someone really important to me, etc. And it's been hard to be consistent with language learning. But in other times, I really feel like I'm on fire, things are going well, I'm progressing in my languages, and those extremes are, well, extreme. And as much as it feels nice and encouraging and inspiring to say you will succeed in language learning if you just commit, if you have a positive mindset and you put in the work and you study every day and you practice a lot, you're going to be great. Millennials and maybe younger Gen Zs, I feel like we grew up with posters in our classrooms saying, reach for the moon and you'll land among the stars. And it's been ingrained in our minds that hard work is all you need to succeed. And yes, I agree. We need to work to it. There's the 10,000 hours theory that you can only become an expert if you spend X amount of time on it. There's the FSI language charts that says this language takes however many hours. You know, Korean is much harder. It takes way more time than Spanish, for instance. I'm not saying languages aren't hard work, and I'm not saying you're not going to succeed if you put in so much effort into languages. The fastest I improved in Korean ever is when I studied every single day for hours, putting in effort, and I just improved so much. So hard work does pay off, but what I really want to talk about in this video is, what do you do when things get hard? Not in the language, like, oh, this language is difficult, but in your life. What do you do when you lose someone? What do you do when you struggle with mental health? What do you do when you have chronic fatigue? What do you do when you're sick? When everyone around you on social media is saying, work hard, do more, be better, and you feel bad and you just can't do it, and then you lose motivation and you get this language learning guilt. What do you do? I want to start by saying that I've been in that situation more times than I can count. And I, first of all, have been diagnosed with ADHD. It's been about 2 years now, and I'm like, well, everything makes sense. I know why I am the way I am. Not that there's anything wrong with it, and it is cheesy, but people are like, ADHD is a superpower if you know how to utilize it and hyperfocus. Getting sidetracked. I cannot tell you how crazy the last 3 years have been in my life, like straight out of telenovela stuff. I have realized, wow, just putting in hard work and consistency is not enough, because you need a contingency plan for when poop hits the fan. And it has been hard. I'm only now really getting back into like, wow, I love language learning again. It is not hard work. Yes, it's difficult, but it's not taking so much out of my energy. Let's talk about, how do you manage your expectations? How do you manage your mindset? And what can you do practically? One thing that I tell all my coaching clients who struggle with this is, where does the root of these bad feelings come from? Is it because you've been watching a lot of content online from polyglots or language learners who make it seem like you can just learn a language like that? Or you don't see the behind the scenes of how much work they've put into it to reach that point. They make it look easy. Or they're lying and they're scripting their videos. Are you comparing yourself to an unrealistic expectation online? Or are you comparing your page 1 to someone's page 10? I've been learning Korean for 15 years, and I still get people who come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, I wish I was at your level and my Korean sucks. I'm like, no, your Korean doesn't suck. You know, tell me about it. Oh, I've been learning for 6 months. You sweet summer child, 6 months is nothing. It's not in a bad sense of like, oh, you're dumb, 6 months is nothing. In the grand scheme of becoming fluent in a language, and I'm still not fluent in Korean. Oh, wow, dare Lindie say that. No, what I mean is I'm still learning every day. I don't know every single word there is to know in Korean. If someone comes up to me and they're like, what is photosynthesis in Korean? I don't know. But can I work in a Korean company with the level of Korean I have? Yes. if we don't talk about photosynthesis. And this took me 15 years. It probably took me like 3 years to feel really comfortable to speak about general topics. So the first thing when you feel like, why is this so hard? This sucks. I'm demotivated. I'm tired. I'm angry. I'm sad about languages. I just want to give up. First thing you want to do is introspection and ask yourself, where does this come from? Are my expectations for myself too high? Me, Lindie, I'm a perfectionist, and I have hurt myself, not physically, so much by expecting things way above my level. Are your expectations too high for yourself? Are you a perfectionist? Do you look at your calendar and see that you have 6 hours of free time in the day, but you have 1 hour of mental energy because you're working 2 jobs and have a family? Identify where that frustration comes from. It could also be a frustration with the language, the level you're at, the resources available to you. So define, is this a mental, emotional comparison thing? Am I comparing myself to people? Do I have too high standards for myself? Am I too busy? Am I using resources that are way too difficult for me? Am I in a class that is above my level, or a class that is below my level and I'm feeling like I'm just being pulled along and I'm not learning anything? So define that for yourself, and that's going to help you get to finding a solution for this slump that you're in. And then the action plan is up to you. I cannot tell you what's going to work for everybody. I can tell you what worked for me. Honestly, it was taking a break. A few years ago, probably like a decade ago, when I had freshly started Korean, I think I may have told the story on some of my ancient videos. If you're new here, it's a new story for you. I wanted to apply for a scholarship to study in South Korea, all expenses paid, like a government scholarship from Korea. They still do a ton of these scholarships, and like 12 years ago, it wasn't as popular as it is now. I went through the forms of the previous year to like practice writing my letter, my essay, to get my documents in order. And then when the new application stuff came out for the next year to study there, they had removed South Africa from the list of eligible countries who could apply for a scholarship. And I was devastated. I cannot tell you how I was like, oh, my life is ending. Little did I know that life would get worse from there. Anyway, at that point, I was like, I'm so angry. I'm just not going to learn Korean anymore. The people at the embassy weren't nice. And I stopped learning Korean for a long time. Not in a rebellious way of like, never going to touch this language. It's just, it was more like, I am so frustrated and so sad. I cannot get myself to learn this language because of my sadness. Such a silly thing to be sad about. But it was valid for a teenager, fresh out of high school. When I got back to Korean eventually, I think at that time I was exploring other languages. It was so much better because I was like, I remember all these things. Oh my goodness, I love writing Korean, the feeling of it in my hand. It just got so much more exciting again because I took a break, I rested, I worked through those emotions. And when I got back to it, I'm like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I remember why I started. So maybe what you want to do is take a break, rest, reevaluate. Why are you pushing yourself too hard? Do you need to break away from what you think is the right way to learn when you're not enjoying it? Like flashcards, everyone says use flashcards. They're so boring for me. Try something else. Figure out where this feeling is coming from and then come up with an action plan, whether it is resting, taking a break, exploring a new language, or changing up your methods or resources. On the note of exploring a new language, a ton of my coaching clients come to me and say, I have been learning Spanish for 3 years and I'm also learning Portuguese and I really want to improve, but I'm so interested in Chinese, but I don't really want to become fluent in Chinese and I need to have Spanish and Portuguese for work. So what do I do? This concept of language guilt. When you're curious and exploring and trying another language, you feel guilty because you should be spending that time on more important languages relevant to your job or your life. I want to shake you guys in a friendly way and be like, just explore it. If you are curious and interested in Chinese, do it. Spend your free time and breaks learning how to write characters, being interested in it, exploring music, culture, series, etc. Don't look at, in this example, learning Chinese as taking away from my time doing another language. See it as a break, a hobby, something interesting you're exploring. And you could be watching TV the whole day. You could be scrolling Instagram on your phone, but you're learning Chinese. And you don't always need to have an expectation of, because I'm learning a language, I have to become fluent. Ever heard of hobbies? Someone commented on a video the other day and they were like, this is so useless to learn languages like Hungarian and Korean. Everybody speaks Chinese and French and Spanish. You should learn those. First of all, I am fine in those languages. Thank you. Oh, you should be learning French. It's more important. It's not important to learn Korean. Well, it's important to learn Korean. Getting back to my example use case of Chinese, you don't have to have such high expectations for yourself. Because I'm curious about Chinese, I gotta learn it and I gotta get fluent and I should never give up. I've given up so many languages. I've been interested in Greek for like 1 week and then I stopped. I don't know, the interest stopped and I haven't really been interested since. I was like, oh, the Greek letters look cool. Let me learn the alphabet. And that was that. I learned like 10 sentences in Estonian in 5th grade because I thought it was cool, and then I didn't continue. Does that make me a bad language learner? I sure hope not. I don't think so. This is something important to have talked about because I hear this from friends, fellow language learners, language coaching clients all the time. I get it so much that it's like, I have no motivation. I'm comparing myself to others too much. I am not improving, and I've been learning for 3 months. Like, you know, you are improving. Think about what you were able to do 3 months ago versus now. And I just wanted to share a few thoughts, but I'll end the video off here. I would love to hear your opinion. Please leave a comment on how you deal with feeling demotivated. This idea of language guilt, what is that? Have you felt it? What do you do? In the meantime, if this is something that you struggle with, it's okay. I've been there. And I would love to help you. It is my passion to talk to people about languages and their language learning journey. Mindsets, healthy mindsets, study skills, reframing the way you think about language, reframing the way you learn languages. So if you would like to chat to me, you are welcome to book a language consultation or a language coaching call. You can go to lindiebuddhist.com/coaching and you'll get all the information there. For now, thank you so much for watching. It is great to be back here on YouTube. Please like and subscribe if this was useful and you want to get more language learning content, and I will see you in the next video.